Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
And I'm Office Bloke Max.
Here we are, all three of us today.
Yes.
Bit of music.
Lovely.
Not a quiz.
Music.
Not a quiz.
Oh, right, okay.
This is
Not a
top
quiz.
20 greatest 80s songs you've never heard of.
Right.
Brian sent me this one, a guy called Brian.
Right, okay.
And I'm wondering how many we've actually heard of.
It'll be interesting.
I
Yeah.
don't know how many there is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if they're going to play them or all these different clips, but it's a Watch Mojo as well.
I'm usually quite well clued up on the 80s, I must admit.
That's why I put
It's
it
my
on.
sort of era.
I wonder
So-
if we've heard of all of them.
Yeah.
This is saying you've
Fair
never
enough.
heard of.
See, I
Right.
don't know. This is a test for me, really.
Big
If I
test
had
for
it.
Max.
It is a big
Greatest
test.
80s songs
Top
that you've
20
never heard of.
greatest 80s songs you've
So,
never heard of.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
Should we get into it?
Yep,
Let's
do
go.
it.
Yeah, I know this.
Yeah.
I never meant to break your...
Welcome to
Bit
Watch
Marillion.
Mojo.
Maybe that's not.
And today we're
I like
counting
it,
our
Marillion.
picks for those 1980s bangers
a
that
different
may have
guy,
flown
what?
under your collective radar.
Nope.
Sounds like Bon Jovi.
Number 20, Only Lonely.
Oh, there you go.
Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi may be a multi-platinum selling rock act, but that doesn't mean they don't possess some serious deep cuts in their back catalog.
I don't know that.
No, I've not heard this one, I must admit.
Only Lonely is taken from the band's sophomore effort, 7800 Degrees Fahrenheit, which was a more experimental and artistic take on Bon Jovi's melodic rock. Here, the anthemic hooks of Bon Jovi's self-titled debut are tempered with sleek and synthesized sound. While the accompanying music video feels like a mini-movie, the chorus is to die for, as well as a desperate-sounding and emotionally charged performance from Bon Jovi that ranks among his very best. We're saying it right here and now.
Sounds like it should be in a
Don't
Rocky
sleep
film or something like
on
that.
Yeah,
Only
but it
It
Lonely.
does sound very
Number
movie.
19,
Yeah.
Self-Control. Laura
Yeah, I know
Branigan.
that one.
The original version of Self-Control was an Italo disco song released by singer Roth in 1984. But it's Laura Branigan's cover of the tune from that same year that's arguably endured to the modern day.
Oh, I know this. Yeah.
The song is steeped in a massive sounding 1980s.
I'm not going to lie, though. If someone said to me, do you know the song by Self-Control by... So I'll be like, no.
Yeah,
As soon as it
that's
played, I know it.
I did know that one. Laura
Right.
Branigan. She's like, for me, it's like a one-hit wonder again.
Right.
Ah,
I don't
right.
think she had to load out, but I did know that one.
Definitely know the
So-
song once it started playing.
Yeah.
Didn't know who sang it or didn't
Yeah.
know what it was called.
Production.
I'd have guessed it
Yet
Self-Control.
Branigan's
Yeah.
vocals never get lost in the mix. Instead, her powerful delivery shines through as booming synths and hot guitar licks complement the song's danceable beats. Self-Control is hooky as hell, from that infectious chorus to each groovy verse. Oh, and that music video? Pure 80s excellence, y'all. Number
Yeah.
18, Dead Man's Party, Oingo Boingo. Amy Elfman may be
Crazy
best
name.
known for
No,
his
I've not heard of it.
vocals, but old school 80s kids know
I'd have to hear
full
it.
well how dope Oingo Boingo was back in the day.
Nope.
Dead Man's Party is perhaps one of the group's catchiest tunes.
Not sure if it's
It
a hit
appeared
over
on
here.
the soundtrack
It's a
for
weird
the
little
Rodney
song, isn't it?
Dangerfield
Yeah.
film,
I was gonna say it looked like
Back
Rodney
Soul,
Dangerfield.
Back in 1986. The song possesses a vibe all its own, with throbbing bass, cool lyrics, and Elfman's soaring, enchanting vocals. Dead Man's Party may be finally getting its due these days on some Halloween mixes from the cooler kids you know, but will always cop to being fans of this one-of-a-kind group. Number 17, Message of Love, The Pretenders. Is there any pop act more representative of the 1980s than The Pretenders? Maybe, but we highly doubt they have a front person as terminally cool as Chrissy freaking Hine.
When love walks in the room, everybody stand up.
message of love
No, I don't know
possesses
that.
a
I know,
vibe
yeah, I've
that's
heard that one again.
simultaneously current
Heard of
and
loads of theirs,
retro.
but not
A
know
Blokes
that.
throwback visually, but a new wave classic back in its day. Hines' vocals are intentionally minimalistic and disinterested.
Hey, do you know
Almost a
what? Just occurred to me then that when that drummer came on with the sideburns like
Yeah.
that song was playing the other day when I was in Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, was
I
it?
was sat at the bar and just watching that and thinking, wonder what song this is by Chrissy Hynde. And I said to Gaynor, I don't know this song, do you?
Yeah.
And she went, no, I don't know it.
Oh,
That's funny. How
there
weird's
you go.
that?
Yeah,
Uncanny.
there you
I just recognised it then with the guy with the sideburns like that coming down. Yeah, weird.
Wow.
go.
precursor to some of the things Sheryl Crow
Yeah, I know
would do
this.
on her debut
Yeah.
album in the 90s.
That's what
Message
it says,
of
90s,
Love
wasn't it?
is melodic
Yeah, I remember
and
it from that
deceptively well
drummer.
written,
Did you? Yeah.
incorporating multiple moods that feel ahead of their time in
Unforgettable
terms of
sideburns, to be
structure
fair.
and efficiency.
Talk to me, darling, with a message of love.
Number 16, Run With Us, Lisa Lougheed. If you were a kid living in Canada during the 1980s,
think I
then
remember
it's
this.
highly likely that you
I'm
loved
not sure
watching
about
the
that one.
raccoons on TV. It's also likely that you loved its theme song, Run With Us by Lisa Lougheed. And we're right
remember
there
her.
with you.
When darkness falls, leaving shadows in the night.
There's something emotionally resonant about the song that we can't quite explain. Lougheed's vocals are powerful, but also possess a palpable energy that just drives home that million-dollar chorus. Run With Us boasts a compelling synth beat, some high-energy guitar licks, and some gothic backing atmosphere that are unlike anything else from the time.
We got everything we need. Run with us.
It takes us back to youthful innocence every time we hear it. Number 15, A Mission in Life, Stan Ridgway. You may not know the name Stan Ridgway.
I know Stan
but
Ridgway. I
fans
remember
with their
Camouflage.
ears to the ground back in the 1980s can probably recall his old band, Wall of Voodoo. That group possessed its own quirky 80s history with their hit Mexican Radio. But this solo cut from Ridgway is comparatively more confessional and down to earth.
I don't run a business just to talk to you all day.
The vibe feels more Billy Joel than new wave weirdness, but that isn't a bad thing. The backing
I don't know that.
instrumentation is
Do you remember him?
particularly evocative.
Do you remember
and show-
Camouflage?
I mean, if it's the same yeah. Camouflage.
That was Stan Ridgway.
Things
But
were
that-
never quite the way they seem.
That's the fella. Again, I just thought it was a one-hit wonder. I've never heard of this one.
No, me neither.
But maybe he didn't release over here.
But then
this
again,
one,
I
but-
remember the Camouflage song, but I couldn't have told you who sang it.
Ah, right.
Right?
That was the number one, I think, over here.
I think it was. I
Camouflage.
think you're
Sure
right.
it was.
Yeah.
Cases Ridgway's
You have no
unique
idea what we're on
vocals
about, do you?
Absolutely no
in a
idea.
wonderful way. The production is also thick and layered, in that way only 80s records could be.
You got a mission in life to hold out your hand.
It's a deep cut
Nope.
that we highly recommend. Number 14, Wings of the Storm, Whitesnake. You'd be forgiven for ignoring Wings of the Storm by Whitesnake, since it was conveniently tucked away at the end of their 1989 album, Slip of the Tongue. If you did do
No.
that, however,
You.
then you'd
No,
be
I'm not-
missing out
not
what's
big on that one
perhaps
at all.
the glam metal
Not gonna lie though, it sounds like every other song they did.
It does, yeah. Obviously, we know White Snake,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
huge, weren't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely worldwide.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one doesn't ring a bell at all.
No.
band's fastest and most aggressive moment. Whitesnake's
she?
bluesy history from the
Who's
1970s
she?
is all but forgotten, as Wings of the Storm rips out of the gate with a startling amount of speed. It never lets up on the gas either, as Steve Vai's fretboard is practically set alight, as the guitarist lets it rip with fiery licks. David Coverdale, for his part, stretches his vocal cords to the heavens, proving Whitesnake's metallic might without a shadow of doubt. Number 13, 80s, Killing Joke. We realize that having a song simply titled 80s on this list may seem lazy, but this English group was anything but complacent. Killing Joke was a remarkably prescient and forward-thinking band for their time, serving as influences for many other groups in their wake. Nirvana was
Oh.
Yeah, I do remember it on
one
now.
of those
Remember it.
bands
Remember Killing Joke?
Yeah, I remember Killing
I
Joke.
didn't
yeah.
remember the 8s until the
It's
chorus
been
then.
accused
Then
of stealing the
that
main
rings a
riff
bell
from
now.
80s.
Again, not my cup of tea in them years, but yeah.
Do you hear it? We admit that
Hmm.
it's close, but we also admire Killing Joke's cutting, almost industrial guitar tone and martial approach to delivering their rhythms.
I think I had a T-shirt with Killing Joke on it.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, not even now. I had it
Used to.
back in, back in like
back
maybe
in the day, maybe.
maybe late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be about their era, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure it did.
Yeah.
It's when band T-shirts
Is it
were very
post-punk?
popular.
Is
at
it?
the time.
Alternative?
right, yeah.
New wave? We're not sure. But what we do know is that 80s is killer. Number 12, but not tonight. Depeche Mode. The discography of Depeche Mode is chock full of bangers, but 1986's Black Celebration just has to count among the band's best.
Yeah, I've heard this.
You have.
Yeah, I like Depeche Mode. Yeah.
But Not Tonight is perhaps a lesser known track from that album, however, because it possesses
Do you know it because someone like Carpenter did a cover of it? What's her name? Yeah, the Disney Channel girl who's a singer now. What's her name?
Oh, Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not well up on the show
No, I
either.
don't know this one. No, I don't.
a more upbeat feeling to its melodies. Black Celebration is fairly dark on the whole, and But Not Tonight breaks things up nicely with a sound that harkens back to Depeche Mode's more minimalistic work.
It does sound
The
like every other
electronic
Depeche
framework
Mode
is
song.
Yeah.
But Dave Gaughan's vocals are red hot, and But Not Tonight is made all the better for that fact. Number 11, Don't Pay the Ferryman, Krista Berg.
Yeah, I know that.
What's the
same, I
first
think I
song
know
you
this.
think
Yeah.
of when the name Krista Berg comes up in conversation?
Lady
Most
in
of
Red.
us would
Yeah.
probably list his hit 1986 ballad, Lady in Red, for obvious reasons.
I'd say he was a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, he didn't
I
have-
really remember of him.
Yeah, I do remember this other one, though.
Yeah, same.
Don't Pay the Ferryman from 1982 couldn't sound any more removed from that hit, however. An energetic art rock song for the ages. The production is polished to a silvery sheen, and Don't Pay the Ferryman is written with electricity to spare. DeBerg's vocals are evocative and in control. Detailing
Was that
the
used in a
song's
commercial?
mythological and Shakespearean
don't know.
origins
Sounds
with
familiar.
palpable
Sounds familiar,
power.
that's what I'm saying,
As
I
a
recognise
result,
the
Don't Pay the
song. Yeah,
Ferryman
maybe.
practically begs for repeated spins.
When you hear that song, I've got it associated with some kind of commercial. It might
Yeah.
be a movie, but Krista Berg's definitely a movie singer.
Oh, yeah.
Lady in Red, you know, he's sort of like he's a sort of sing like the Berlin, Take My Breath Away. You
Yeah.
sort of think that Krista. If you didn't know, you think is that Krista Berg?
He could do something like that,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is
Number
very
10,
similar.
Yeah.
When I'm Gone, Albert Hammond. A double-edged sword about professional songwriting is how one can remain almost completely anonymous while also having a profound effect upon millions of music fans.
When I'm gone, will you take out all the photographs?
Albert Hammond
Nope.
was one of those people.
Rings a bell
prolific
slightly, that,
composer
but
who wrote hits
don't
for
remember.
I wouldn't have known
others,
his
but
name.
seemed to eschew personal fame when it came down to his own career. When I'm Gone practically begs for the listener to do some deep digging into Hammond's career, however, thanks to this song's confessional nature and emotional viability.
Love will bring you back to me.
The song feels tailor-made to connect with its audience. A beautifully melancholic song that boasts a fantastic production, one that perfectly highlights Hammond's voice. When I'm Gone is a hidden gem that deserves all the flowers. Number 9, No Easy Way Out, Robert Tepper.
That was
You
a lot of
just know it
stuff.
when you hear it. Call it montage music or training music. It's those songs.
Right, I've heard this before. The reason being, we did a reaction ages ago
I think so, yeah.
to something, and this was on it.
It
Wasn't
wasn't
it?
a guess the lyrics, was it? Or guess the song or something?
It might have been something like this. Songs, you know, One It Wonders or something like that. I'm
Yeah.
talking ages ago. I'm
I
talking
thought-
a few years ago.
Ah, right,
Yeah.
okay.
And we did it, and we were all like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
at the time.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's how I know this song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him when up against the like the chain link fence and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and,
that's
you know,
right. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. I just can't quite.
Yeah, that's
Put
how
my
I know
finger
it.
on it.
That's how I know it.
I've got a feeling it might have been a one-hit wonder one we've done recently as well.
Don't
Something
recognise
like
it
that,
now. I
but-
recognise it from when ages ago,
Do
like
you?
2 or 3
Right,
years ago.
okay.
Yeah.
That show up in movies when times are tough and demand that the heroes step up their game.
I think it's unbelievable how you give into the hands of fate.
Was it a Patreon request?
Possibly. I just
I
remember.
think it might be one of those where we
doing
thought
it.
we don't want to do
I
this.
remember doing it, and we did it, and it was this. And you might be right.
I think it might
was
have been.
definitely something.
Yeah, no, it's starting to ring a bell. And
Yeah, same.
set a few.
It's just that image of him stood there waving his arms around with the long hair and the shit song.
because we normally won't watch
Yeah.
something like this, would we?
No,
We'll
no,
react to it. So
no.
For Sylvester Stallone in Rocky IV, that song was No Easy Way Out by Robert Tepper, and it's an absolute masterclass.
We're not indestructible. Baby, better get that straight. I think it's unbelievable how you give into the hands of fate.
Tepper is without a shred of irony as his vocal performance goes for broke with a sincere amount of power and passion. It's such a barn burner that the accompanying instrumentation almost feels like an afterthought. But pay attention, there are some amazing melodic choices here.
There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home.
No
I recognise
easy
that
way
more the
out
chorus
makes us
now.
feel
I
like
think
I've
real
heard that,
champions every day.
we see how it fit into a
reacted
Rocky
to it.
film as well, can't you?
Yeah,
With
exactly.
the backing with the vocals
New
and the
Order.
Oh, what a
new-
great
New
song
Order
this
rose
is.
from the ashes of Joy
Yeah.
Division,
Probably my
a
favourite Road song.
trailblazing voice
really?
in the
Yeah,
burgeoning
it is.
post-punk and early alternative rock movements. That band's purposefully minimalistic style was opened up and brightened up a bit with New Order, however, influencing an entire generation of goth rock fans in the process.
I saw you this morning, thought that you might like to know.
Age of Consent is
I know
taken
that.
from
It's a
New
great
Order's
song. Yeah, it's a
sophomore
great song.
effort, Power, Corruption, and Lies, and immediately strikes as something special. The reverberating guitar chords and echoed production are evocative as hell, while Bernard Sumner's vocals float atop it all with personality and
Bernard.
style.
That's what I was going to say. I was just going to say the same.
Who's that?
Trust us, if you dig The Cure, The Smiths, or Depeche Mode, then check this one out. Number 7, Cambodia, Kim Wilde.
Yeah, I remember
If
that
you
one.
only know the career of Kim Wilde from her early hit Kids in America, then might we suggest the singer's more experimental sophomore effort, Select. This 1982 album was marked by a pronounced atmosphere of
Was she not more of a one-hit wonder,
experimentation and
Kim
even
Wilde?
No, this was quite a big hit as well.
Was it? I remember
Yeah.
Kids in America, but
I think she had
loads.
2 or 3 or 4, didn't
Yeah,
she, at
she-
least?
okay.
She was like a proper pin-up in the early 80s.
Yeah, she
Really?
came
like
quite.
Kids Crush.
She
sort
was
of
quite
thing,
big.
you know,
Right,
she was-
okay.
yeah.
Big
I think she
top
did
of the
okay in
box.
the US as well, didn't she?
I think so, yeah.
Sure she did.
Yeah, Kim Wilde was huge in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
early 80s. She was, like I say, she was like every boy's dream sort of thing in the.
That's it. Yeah.
like in
Her
the-
dad was big in the 60s. Is it Marty Wilde or
Marty
something? I
Wilde,
mean, I
yeah.
didn't know him that much, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
you know, she had a lot of backing that way. So yeah, she was good.
Light menace, as evidenced by this single, Cambodia.
But then he turned around and he began to change. She didn't wonder then, she didn't think it strange.
The song is dark and mysterious, a layered synth-pop song that feels delivered from outer space, yet anchored by Wilde's gorgeous, otherworldly voice. View from a Bridge is another great song from Select, but there's only one Cambodia. And once you hear it, we doubt you'll forget it.
But there is only one thing that I know for sure. She will see his face again.
Number 6, It's a Sin.
What?
Pet Shop Boys.
huge.
I know.
Instead of
Massive
playing on
song.
songs to take on lives of their own, the Pet Shop Boys' Neil Tennant told the Daily Dish in 2019 how he originally wrote It's a Sin without much thought as to how seriously it would be taken by the group's fans.
If you'd have said to me, what's Pet Shop Boys' biggest hits, I'd probably say It's a Sin was probably the biggest one.
Yeah, West End Girls.
West End Girls
It's a
or
Sin.
Rule the World. Was that them?
No, don't think so.
Tears for Fears, that one. Yeah, I get
Tears
mixed
for
up,
Fears.
yeah.
Well, It's a Sin would be right up there in the top
Yeah,
2 or
I
3 of
think
their
so,
songs,
yeah.
I think, without
Yeah.
a doubt.
Yeah, West End Girls probably the number one.
That's the
wasn't it?
first
Yeah,
one. That's a
yeah.
breakthrough hit, wasn't it? Which was huge.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It's a Sin was absolutely massive.
Yeah. Yeah, I got mixed up with Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
Very similar looking.
Everything I long
was initially conceived during Tennant's reflection about his Catholic school upbringing, but many fans today have internalized the song's themes of oppression and shame and frequently interpret them as cathartic. Tennant also interestingly compared It's a Sin and the Pet Shop Boys' high-energy music to heavy metal. And you know what? We totally hear it. It's a Sin rocks. Plain and simple. Number 5. Dancing with Tears in My Eyes.
Yeah,
Another big one.
I know that one really
The
well as
title
well.
may sound
Same.
extravagant because it is, but that's just part and parcel for Ultravox's deeply romantic new wave sound. The British group formed in the 70s, but saw their greatest success
Yeah,
in the
great
80s,
tune, that.
thanks to gems like Him and The Voice. Dancing with Tears in My Eyes highlights how
Vienna
Midge
was,
Uri's lead vocals truly
biggest
take
song they did.
Probably
Ultravox
the
to
biggest,
another
wasn't it? I'm
level.
guessing.
It means
As
nothing to
soars
me, though.
above the song's synthesized 80s beat with a stately grandeur. This is
Didn't it famously not get to number 1, Vienna?
No,
Was
it
it
got-
something else was at number 1, wasn't it?
Joe Dolce. What's the matter, you?
Joe
Hey,
Dolce, yeah. What's up at your face?
Shut up at your face.
Shut up at your face, that's right. Absolute travesty, that, wasn't it?
It
must
kept
be the-
Ultravox off number 1. I'm sure
must
it
be
was
the
that.
biggest number 2s of all time, I guess,
Yeah,
most
yeah.
memorable. You know,
It's yeah, it's
it's
like
a
I
sin.
say, it's a sin. Means nothing to me. There's loads of jokes, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'm
We're
leaving
all
it.
day.
I'm leaving it. I know. I'm
Let's
leaving
move
it.
on.
Yeah.
80s pop at its most melodramatic, but also some of its most melodically satisfying. The songwriting is impeccable, the chorus wonderful, and the execution note perfect. Check out Ultravox. You won't be disappointed. Number 4. Ride Like the Wind.
Oh, another big
Christopher
song.
Yeah,
Cross.
I remember that.
Christopher Cross's debut album may have dropped for Christmas of 1979.
I feel like a lot of these didn't do well in
but
America.
this first
That might be
single
the-
Possibly,
thankfully
yeah.
fits
Yeah.
the
Yeah, could do.
criteria, having been released in February of the following year. If we're being honest, though, any time is a great time to rock Ride Like the Wind.
Oh yeah, I know this song.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just going to say, but I was going to stop it before it played and say, "Do you know it?" But you might. Someone did a cover version with a rap, not a rap version, like an upbeat, like
Yeah.
There was another version of it, wasn't there? That was a little
Was
bit,
it?
had a little bit more.
What, like an R&B? twist or
I'm
something?
sure someone did a cover version in like the 90s. I'm sure.
Okay.
I'll have to Google it, but
Right.
This isn't only due to the spectacular songwriting displayed by Cross, but also those amazing backing vocals from Michael McDonald. The former Doobie Brother assists Cross in a way only he can, smoothing over Ride Like the Wind with his velvety voice and creating pure musical heaven in the process.
And I've got such a long way to go. Make it to the border of Mexico.
Number 3. Wild Wild West, The Escape Club. The story of the Escape Club is a funny one, since this British export actually didn't do too well in their homeland. Wild Wild West was a hit in the US, however, and we totally see why, because the song feels like a movie montage scene come to life.
I know this.
Yeah.
This isn't a slight
Yeah, I'm not well up on
whatsoever,
this one, I
mind
must
you,
admit.
because we admire the Escape Club's dedication to unabashed, sugar-coated pop. Wild Wild West is an earworm that sounds indebted to Duran Duran, with an approach that's weird and nearly impossible to categorize. It's funky with a little rock for good measure, and catchy as hell.
You know it now?
It just
Number
doesn't ring
2,
a bell.
Kaylee,
West,
Marillion. It may
Can't believe
seem
this.
improbable that in 1980s
I still it is
prog
now.
rock
Been over
band
here,
could
it's
go
huge,
on to
wasn't it?
influence the proliferation of an actual forename in their native UK. But truth is indeed stranger than fiction.
I thought they were German.
Hey?
I always thought they were German. Don't know why.
No,
I guess he looks German.
it was called Fish, wasn't he?
yeah.
The early career of Marillion
Thought it
was
was a
largely
German.
indebted to the sound of 70s Genesis, but Kaylee was an unadulterated pop hit from a group known for crafting.
Maybe that's what it is. It looks like Germany.
Yeah,
epics.
I see what you mean.
Lead singer Fish emotes with abandon, while the chorus and delay-drenched guitar of Steve Rothery creates that insanely catchy opening lick.
It's great, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Great riff.
indication to turn your
It's
music up.
beautiful
isn't
and
it?
bittersweet. A true gem deserving of discovery by anyone who assumed Prague simply died in the 70s. Before we continue,
Ah, that's
be sure
good.
to subscribe to our channel and
After
ring the
could have
bell to
convinced
get
me,
notified
German.
about our latest videos.
Now I know.
You have the
Yeah.
option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Then again, I always thought Major was Austrian. I didn't.
Number 1. The sun always shines on TV.
I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Norway's Aha will probably always be best known for their
Hang on.
smash international single, Take On Me.
I was going to say, Take On Me is like
That's
isn't it
the
the
one.
most,
Yeah, that's
isn't
what
it
I
the
know.
most watched video on YouTube or something?
Probably it certainly was. It's a bit of a game changer,
Yeah.
It was
isn't
at
it?
some
'Cause
point. I think it
Yeah.
is.
there wasn't
It
really
was.
any videos like that when it first came
No.
out. It's like, wow.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's incredible.
But The Sun Always Shines on TV was just, I think, just as big, would you say? As Take
Not
On Me?
far off. It was Take On Me was probably the biggest because of the video. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. I think
Yeah,
again it's the
yeah,
first one, wasn't
yeah.
it? Usually the first ones are right up there, but yeah, it was still huge though. Yeah,
I was sat with a bunch of Norwegians in the pub. They're coming over for the United game.
Yeah.
And I said to them, who's the, like, you know, that question I always ask, who's the most famous person from your country?
Yeah.
And I said, who's the most famous Norwegian? And they were all looking at each other and again went, is it Morten Harket? And they all went, no. And I went, I think it might be, you know.
I would have been offended by that, would they?
However, there's also a lot of other musical gold to be mined for fans seeking out more great music. The band's theme to the James Bond film The
Oh,
Living
yeah, I forgot they did
Daylights
this.
was a franchise highlight, but The Sun Always Shines on TV may just be Aha's secret weapon. Morten Harket delivers a vocal performance that rivals even his watershed moments on Take On Me, while also proving that Aha was no one-hit wonder. The Sun Always Shines on TV is expertly composed and magnificently executed, a slice of absolute pop rock perfection. Feel like shouting out a deep cut from your favorite band?
Was a good tune actually.
Got the Dangerfield
Production was brilliant on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's really interesting that. One
was
of the
quite
that
a few.
I've not heard of, I must admit.
There was
But-
quite a few and not heard of.
Yeah.
But there's a couple that Wild Wild West I knew.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, again, a lot of the songs that I know there as well, I couldn't tell you who sung them. Obviously, people like
get what
Ultravox
you
and
mean.
Major and people
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, they're very easy to recognise over here.
Yeah.
Don't know, number one, what was number two? I can't remember what number two was. Oh, Marillion.
Brilliant.
Yeah, the German
but
band.
Some of the songs there were absolutely huge over here.
Yeah.
And, you know, like Pet Shop Boys, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all day long. I mean,
Yeah. There's some vague ones, like in the early sort of like countdown bit.
yeah, there was a few, wasn't there?
Even the Kim Wilde ones, I get why people wouldn't have heard of that, because it is a vague one.
Yeah,
What she
it's
did
more
wasn't
of it. It's one of the lesser hits,
Yeah.
but I mean, I do remember
same,
it really
same,
well. I
yeah.
actually quite like that one.
Yeah.
As, again, but
But like I say, with Kaylee and The Sun Always Shines on TV,
Yeah.
they're really big.
that thingy one was good. The Dangerfield or something, or the one
The
with,
Rodney Dangerfield one, this guy.
you know, with the long hair and the one that you said that you'd noticed from a few years
Tepper
ago.
was his name.
Oh,
Something-
is it Robert Tepper or
Rob
something?
Tepper or something like that was his
Yeah,
name.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I need to wrap my brains about that and see where we've seen it. but-
We've definitely done it, because I recognise, I just remember, I don't remember much, I know, but I remember that video we did.
I think we'll need to look back
And
on the
at the time
history
we
of
were like, what
Patreon
is
and
this?
see if it's
Yeah,
in there, because
yeah.
I'm sure it is.
I don't think we
but-
put it on Patreon. I think we put it out.
Oh,
So
really?
People have to let us know. Or we search it on the WhatsApp.
It's
It
just
was
not
either a
something
part
we
of the video.
normally do, though. That's all.
No, it was either a part of the video, or you might be right. It might have been a Patreon request that
Right.
we did early days.
Yeah.
But it's definitely 100% we've
It
reacted
looked-
to that
the
video.
clip looks familiar. I couldn't remember the
same.
song, but the actual
Yeah.
clip of him. I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, I've seen it somewhere
Yeah.
before, and the name rang a bell slightly.
Yeah.
But-
Well, there you go.
But yeah, good video, well put together. That.
Let us know if
Nice
you've heard
one.
of all of them as well. Like I said, I think some of them are blockbusters that we
Yeah.
would have heard of. But yeah, good video. Cheers, Brian, for requesting that.
Yeah, nice one.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.